All right. Previously on my YouTube channel, this is a pursuit underway that you don't want to see in the next hour. You're going to see the whole police chase that went on for an hour. They're in pursuit. They were in pursuit of that Honda Accord. According to the police reports, the suspect is in three suspects in the car wanted for armed robbery. They now have seen this car weave through traffic for several minutes. For the last 15 minutes or so, there was an armed robbery that they seen a car move through the south side on the Dan Ryan Expressway. Went on the wrong side of the road, wrong way on Lakeshore Drive. That was 47th and Lake Park. The police are now searching for one more suspect. Two suspects had been taken into custody after that car crash. The three suspects ran on foot. One suspect is still on the loose. Two people in custody in the area.
Send professional invoices and get paid faster. All with the
QuickBooks
mobile app. Easily create and send invoices.
Stay tuned. It starts right now on my YouTube channel.
Anytime, anywhere.
Don't miss it.
Right from the QuickBooks mobile app.
Get started. Let's get started, everybody.
Sky 5, apparently there is some police activity you want to tell us about, Mike? What's happening?
Marion, we have a high-speed, extremely dangerous pursuit here on the south side of Chicago that has been going on for the better part of a half hour. We are westbound on 63rd Street, about to approach Damon and Western Avenue. Have gone this. This pursuit started on the west side of Chicago. This is a Honda sedan that is wanted for armed robbery. They have put the alert out that the people inside are considered to be armed and dangerous. Pursuit started on the west side of Chicago, went all the way in town to the south side of the city. This vehicle has struck another vehicle at 47th and Lake Park. It is driven in the wrong direction on Lakeshore Drive and other streets. It drove on the sidewalk in Bridgeport at 39th by the Dan Ryan, almost striking a Chicago police officer. This is a very, very dangerous situation. What you're seeing right now from this vehicle driving in the wrong side of traffic, it's been doing this over and over again. So
Southbound.
3rd Street. We are coming up, I want to say, on Western or California Avenue here. Let's say Kedzie, 63rd and Kedzie, heading southbound. Again, this pursuit's been going on about 40 or 50 minutes. It's been followed by the Chicago Police Department and local Chicago police officers. The ISBURN alert was put out also.
Alright, hi guys, I have issues with my internet, so on my phone it keeps loading and loading for the last 3 seconds, for the last 3 to 4 minutes. And this pursuit underway right now in Chicago. They are southbound Kedzie. They are about to approach 67th Street. Just a few minutes ago, I had issues with closed captioning. It was an error 3 minutes ago. So in the middle of Market Park and 67th and Kedzie Avenue, the vehicle has been driving at a high rate of speed initially. It has been this suspect is wanted for armed robbery. Been on Lakeshore Drive, 39th and Dan Ryan Expressway, wrong side of the road just a second ago. Struck another vehicle, driving very erratically, went off the sidewalk, almost hit a pedestrian. He's going on west on 71st and Kedzie, hit another vehicle. That's the Chicago police decided to pursue themselves. Again, they've seen pursuits before because the new substitute photographer is, you know, that guy is in that chopper 5. They're behind the school here. They're about to say home and westbound 71st and Holman. That pursuit near Holman, all the way up by Division Street, went into the city on the Eisenhower southbound expressway. Lakeshore Drive struck another vehicle at 47th and Lake Park. Eventually made its way to Bridgeport. You'll see the video of this later. It was on the sidewalk, almost struck a police officer coming in the other direction because the news helicopter vehicle was exceeded at 100 miles an hour. Drive erratically at high rates of speed. They are going to pinpoint it. They're having to hold back a distance because due to that Chicagoland Aviation Airspace. Wow! He just
Get
freaking
in. This is a
crashed.
gate here.
Are
So
you
we are
kidding
westbound at
me?
71st
Wow,
Street.
he's
This is gonna
about to
end.
lose control.
Now
Oh
we're
my
going
god.
into
Oh
an
my
industrial
god.
area here. We're at about
This is the gate here. They're
71st
southbound,
71st
westbound, 71st Street. This kind of ends and going into the industrial
getting
area.
information. So
Here,
71st
they're
Street, we're
at
just
about
on the other side
71st
of Central Park,
Street,
behind that
71st,
industrial
and
building there. A lot of
they're
police
getting that
moving in.
news helicopter
So again,
reporter is getting
I wanna caution
information.
everybody
They're
in a
behind the
large
other
way
side of
who's
Central
watching
Park.
here. But
There are a
again,
lot of
we've been told over and
industrial
over
buildings.
again how
There's going to
dangerous
be a lot
this
of
vehicle
police.
is. We're trying
There's
to
going to be a
keep
caution to those viewers.
Over the fence.
Don't try to
And
get
then now
involved.
they jumped over
Do
the
not
fence
try
I
to be
only
a
saw
hero.
one person, Mike. If you saw more than
You
one,
have to stay inside your home because you don't know
Yeah, we've got 3 people
what
in the
you
vehicle.
see. Don't
We're off
confront the
Pulaski here.
suspect.
So
Only
we've
the
got,
police can
off
confront
of
the
Pulaski,
suspect.
we're
It's
about
only a
block
skit.
east
They
of
got 3
Pulaski.
people in the vehicle.
We
They're off
are
of Pulaski.
at north
They
of
got
the
off of
bridge,
Pulaski.
so
They're
that
about a
brings us
block
to
of
about
east.
71st Street. This pursuit's
And
still going, though.
they are at north
Jack, from what I
of
can see, the
Bridgeport,
pursuit is still
so that
going.
brings them
I don't see
at
any
about
police
74th
officers or
Street.
any
The pursuit's still
cruisers
going
out
Still
there,
seeing
Mike.
police
The pursuit
officers.
went on for
Yeah, so
about
we've got
45
people
to
running,
50.
but
This
while they're
has
running,
been
we
going
still
on
got
for the better part of an
cars coming
hour,
in,
half
so
an
cars are
hour.
coming in all kinds of
This pursuit
directions.
went on for
So let's
about
pinpoint where we're
45
at.
to
This is an
50
erratic
minutes.
situation here.
They're running.
We
The police cars are coming in.
near
News helicopters, Chicago police helicopters
69th
was
place,
falling
69th
overhead
place in the yard
moments
here. We're
ago.
just
The
west of
driver was
Pulaski.
reaching
Into
speeds
the
at
yard
80 to
69
100 miles an hour,
Kedvale,
hitting the
69
brakes,
Kedvale.
going around traffic, turning
Okay, I
left.
can see
Started.
that there
It started
look
in the
like
west
the
side of
police officers
Chicago.
maybe circling
They're
that
just west of
area.
into yards
I've
in
only
69
seen
and
one
69th
person.
Street.
I know
They can
there's
see the
3
police
that you
officers
talked about.
coming. Wow, here they come. They're gonna look for that
Okay, so
fugitive.
there's 3
That's a
people running
2016
there by 69
Honda
Kedvale.
Civic.
Behind
They've
this,
only seen.
there are
They've only seen
Right,
one.
so
There's
behind this, and again,
3
you always have
people
to stay with
running.
the people
There's
being
by
pursued.
69
I'm not
behind.
exaggerating
They
here, but
are
there
right
20
so
to 30 Chicago
behind
squads
us. And
flying
again,
into the
they
scene
always
right
have
now.
to stay
So
with
we're
the
in back
people
of the yard
being
here.
pursued. They're not
We are
exaggerating
about
here.
69th
When they're
in Kedvale,
there were
69th in Kedvale.
20 to
And
30
again, I wanna warn
Chicago
everybody,
squads
this could be a dangerous
flying overhead.
situation where there could be
That
shots
literally went
fired.
on for the
A
last
lot
30.
going on. A lot
That
of
pursuit went
squads
on for
going
about
in. We've got
30 to
people who are
40
being
minutes.
pursued. They
It's
are
been
being
on
run after.
expressways,
Norton
Dan Ryan
360
expressways.
scans
This
nearby
has been going
Wi-Fi
on for about
networks
30
and alerts
minutes.
you to potentially harmful
I'm gonna
public
probably say
Wi-Fi
about 40
connections.
minutes.
Norton Secure VPN is
This pursuit's been going on for about 40 minutes
People they're after,
since the
running
police
in different directions. I
started
just saw
this
2
chase.
of them
They are
run
being pursued.
northbound
They are
behind a van,
being
and a
run
third
after
person
3
running
people.
eastbound.
They're running in different directions. They saw 2 of them run northbound behind a van. Looks like they're gonna carjack a van. I guess
I
not.
believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
These are the suspects who are fleeing right there, who is running. That's who they're looking at. That they believe it's hard to tell from this vantage point because it looks like dark clothing could easily be an officer's uniform. So they're real quick. They're in a neighborhood. There are people that come
Around 69th and
home.
Kedvale
There could be
here. So
kids
this is a
home.
neighborhood on the south side.
You know,
just west
imagine
of
if
this,
I
and we
got
saw
sick.
this when
I
the
wouldn't want to
vehicle
get
was
sick
going
by losing my
west, went right
voice.
into those large train tracks. If you've ever
Saddening,
driven over
because
Pulaski or Cicero, you've got those large tracks.
I could
That's where it
speak
drove,
normally,
went into an
I'm
industrial
able to
area. Now you can
yell,
see the police
see
officers
the
that I
Chicago
talked about.
police
They're
helicopters
flying into the
flying
area
through our
below
shot.
us
This is
here,
where they're
flying
looking
at about 200 feet
for.
elevation is
They're
the Chicago
looking for
police
3 people
helicopter.
inside
They're looking for this
that
people. This is a
Honda
very
Civic.
residential area
200
here
feet of
on the
elevation
southwest
is
side
the
of
Chicago police
A lot of
helicopter.
these homes that are
They're
closer
looking for these
together.
people. This is a
3
very
people
residential area
bailed from the
here on the
vehicle. That's
southwest
what we saw
side
from
of
Sky
Chicago.
5. That's what we've heard from
A
the
lot of these
dispatch
homes
here,
are closer
running in
together.
different
3
directions.
people
So now we've
bailed
got
from the
basically
vehicle. That's
a
what we
search
saw from the news
situation
from the
here, and a
Chicagoland
dangerous
area news
situation for
helicopters.
residents
They're
in
running
this
in like
area.
different
Around
directions. So
69th
this
and
is like, for
Okay,
example,
69th
situations
and Kedvale.
here
Let's
in a
recap
dangerous
where
situation.
this started. There was a robbery. Can you tell us where this robbery
So,
happened and why the police are so concerned that these
This
people
was a
are
robbery.
particularly dangerous?
Where this robbery
Right.
happened,
One person is in
why the
custody.
police are
I've
so
just been told by the
concerned that
police
these
helicopter
people are
that one person
particularly
is in
dangerous.
custody and they are
The
looking
commuters
for
were going to end up getting
other
killed, hit, or injured in an
Jack, if you
accident
can,
by
and I know you need to
that
stay quiet
vehicle.
now for just a little
That
bit,
person is
for
in
about
custody.
2
They're
more
looking for
seconds.
2 other
So you can
vehicles.
see the
One
layout of
person
this
in custody
neighborhood,
for
right?
now.
You've got a curved
This was
street.
uploaded
There's the
3 hours
Chicago police
ago,
helicopter
so I
that I was
have to
talking
put it
about. out.
on
You've got a curved street here where it
240.
kinda comes around
So I'm able
in
to
a
read
little
the
semicircle here
closed
by 69
caption.
Kedvale,
So they got a
blocks
curved
west
street when it
of
comes
Pulaski.
to that, around in
lot of
a
places to hide
semicircle here
a
by
lot of
69 for
close-knit
Bell.
homes here,
A couple blocks
garages,
west
so
of
this is a
Pulaski.
difficult
Sometimes
search
there's
for
a
the
closed
Chicago
captioned
Police
error
Department,
that I
but
can't
we
read.
saw after they
I can't
bailed out
read
the
the closed
vehicle,
captions. I'm not
a
gonna have
few
words to
dozen
say if I
officers,
don't
they
turn on
keep
closed
moving.
caption and
All
it
right, so
keeps
we've got
going
an
on
address here.
error.
I'm gonna
But
listen
it's no
for 1
longer
second.
error. It's no longer an error, so it should be good.
So they're looking at 70
They've got an address here.
Kedvale,
They're gonna.
northwest
The news
corner of
helicopter is
the
gonna listen for
building
1
now
second. So
is
they're
where
looking for
searching.
Okay.
One person is in custody. They're searching for 2
7024
more.
northwest corner
Let's
of building
backtrack all of
where
this really quickly. The
searching.
pursuit started on
Okay,
the west side of Chicago.
person is
here.
in custody.
Picked it up about
They're gonna
Portland,
backtrack
Kedzie.
all of this
Vehicle
really
went
quickly.
south on
This
Sacramento,
pursuit started on
in
the west side of
Eisenhower,
Chicago.
south on
Here they
Dan
picked it
Ryan,
up in
south on
Fairline
Lakeshore
and
Drive. At that
Kenzie.
point,
Vehicle
the
went
vehicle,
south on
a,
Sacramento and in onto the Eisenhower
sedan that was wanted
Expressway,
for
Dan
armed
Ryan
robbery with 3 people
Expressway,
inside.
Lakeshore Drive.
Was only
It
being
is a
followed by the
vehicle
police
of that
helicopter. He
2016,
got off at
2017
47th Street on the
Honda
south side,
Honda
struck a
Civic
vehicle at
was
47th
wanted for an
Lake Park,
armed robbery,
did a
being
U-turn,
followed by
went on Lakeshore
police helicopter.
Drive,
It got off
drove on
to
the
at
wrong
47th
direction
Street
of Lakeshore
south
Drive.
side,
That
struck a
point,
vehicle at
I think
47th
the
Street
police
Lake
considered
Park.
this a dangerous
We'll show it to you.
situation. They started pursuing
Lakeshore
from the
Drive went
ground
on the
as
wrong
well.
side of the direction.
Went to
Lakeshore
39th
Drive
Street
at that
and
point.
31st. There was a situation.
This is a
you'll see
dangerous
video that we
situation.
got of
Started
this later,
pursuing from the ground as
39th
well.
near
Went to the
Wallace,
39th
where
Street
the
and
vehicle went the wrong
31st
direction,
Street.
drove on the
They'll see it.
sidewalk
We're gonna see
to
this
evade
video
Chicago police
that we're gonna get
officers,
to that
almost
coming
struck
up
another
later
vehicle.
in our
That
broadcast.
landed it out in the Dan Ryan. Where
Drove on the
eventually
sidewalk
exited
to
here,
evade
went
police.
westbound into the neighborhoods. And
Struck another
bailed
vehicle,
here
landed
after
out
it went
in the
through
Dan Ryan
fence at
Expressway when they
71st
were
Street,
eventually
ended into a
exited
dead
here.
end west of Pulaski.
It's gonna be felony charge of
People got out. They were
carjacking,
running
felony
around the neighborhood
evasion,
between
almost
69th and
attempting to
70th
ran
in
a
Kedvale. One
CPD
person in
officer.
custody.
People
Two are
got
still
out. They
being
were
looked
running
for.
around the
Been a very
neighborhood
close look
between
neighborhood.
69th
So
and
I told we
70th.
have
So
some video
one of
here.
the person
If we
is
show
in
the video
custody.
of the
Very
Two people are going to be in
impressive,
custody just
Here's
in a
another
few
look
minutes.
at some
This is
of
what they
the-
got
here's
earlier
where
on. They can
this
show this
went
video
on the
of the
sidewalk
pursuit
trying to get away from
before
police, as you
recapping.
mentioned, so we can see why this would be a huge
And here's the
concern.
construction
Along with
cones
hitting
as well,
somebody at 47th
trying to get away from
and
police.
Lake
They're
Park,
trying
as
to
you
bring this thing
mentioned,
to an
and
end. They can
along
see
the
a
way on
huge,
Lakeshore
this would be a
Drive,
huge
and
concern,
along the way on
along
several
with
other
hitting
streets
somebody at
that
47th and Lake
had
Park.
cars coming at
As
them
they
and
mentioned,
avoiding
going on the
them.
wrong
So
way on the Lakeshore
clearly a
Drive,
very, very
crossing underneath the
dangerous
train track.
situation. And you've
Several
already
other
said
streets,
that
they had
the
cars
vehicles inside this
coming
vehicle and the rate of speed
and
they're going,
avoiding them.
obviously very dangerous
Clearly,
as well.
very, very
These
dangerous
people are
situation.
believed to be armed
They're having to hold
because
back, so
you said
the
that
news
they
helicopter
committed
gave law
armed
enforcement some
robbery
space.
and
So
were
these
wanted
people are believed to be
of
armed
that.
because
So this
they
is
said
a
they've
very
committed an
critical
armed
situation, and
robbery,
what I worry
were
about
running
now is
because of
what's
that.
happening in that
So this
neighborhood
is
with
a
two
very
people at
difficult
large,
situation.
desperate,
What
of
they
course,
worry
because
about
they had
now
taken
is
the
what's
police on this,
happening in that neighborhood
tremendous
with two
pursuit.
people at large. Desperate,
you have to
of
worry
course,
about the
because they have
residents in that
taken the
area.
police
Children could
on
be
this
around,
tremendous
may not be at school
pursuit.
for whatever reason.
They have to
It's
worry
just a
about
very
the residents
concerning
in
situation
that
when
area.
people
Children
are
could be coming
being
out
pursued by
around,
police
maybe
and
not
in a
being
neighborhood
school.
and believed to be
This is in
armed and
Illinois,
dangerous.
so where people are being pursued. 69 in Ked, 69 in Kedvale.
Wait, how do you have another package?
I just shop on
In this
AliExpress. You can
advertisement,
get
I'm
3
gonna
items
deal
for
with that
99 cents.
advertisement, so goodbye.
Yeah, you and I have these
It's a
conversations.
waste of time.
Cover this pursuit.
One person in
When do you
custody,
pursue?
their
When do you
CPD,
not
Chicago
pursue?
Police
And that's a
Department
big question,
officers
and that
are
changes
searching for
from
two
city to
suspects.
city, from state
When
to
do
state.
they pursue, when
Everybody
do
has
they
different
not pursue?
protocols.
That's a big
Chicago
question.
in
When to chase or
general,
when not to chase. They've
their
been called out for
protocol
safety,
is not to
safety
pursue
reasons.
unless they
Everybody has
absolutely
different
have
protocols
to,
and different
but they
abilities
feel that
in the
it's a
community.
serious danger to the area
This is
around.
not
Now, we
protocol
just saw
to
that
pursue,
video, what happened at
unless they
Bridgeport, 39th
absolutely
Street.
have to
Vehicle
when they
doesn't
feel
turn,
that is
drives on
a
the
serious
wrong side of the
danger to that
street.
area.
We
Brown,
also
they just
saw
saw that
earlier
video
47th
of Bridgeport at
and
90
this
and
vehicle
39th Street.
struck another vehicle, and again, we
On
had
the
to
wrong
stay
side
with
of the
pursuit.
street,
We
they
don't know
saw
what happened
earlier
back
on
there, whether there
47th
are
and Lake
injuries
Park where this
involved.
vehicle
So there could
struck
be
another
more
vehicle, and
charges coming
they had
in
to
this
stay
situation.
around on
Once
this
that
pursuit.
took
There were
place,
injuries
once the,
involved. There could
accident
be more
happened
charges
near
coming in
47th
this
Lake Park, that's when we
situation.
really saw,
Once the
from
suspect
ground
gets
perspective
processed,
that they were pursuing from
suspects,
ground.
once 3
Chicago Police
suspects
helicopter
gets
has
processed,
been on
they'll be
this,
taken to court
with us
soon.
in Sky
So
5,
we're gonna
for a
listen
long
now.
period of time, but they started pursuing on the ground here. Now it's a search situation that may be drawn out for a long period of time. Again, a lot of these houses on the south side, they're really close together. They go in different directions here. The streets do a lot of garages, a lot of places to hide. So this search may be ongoing for a long period of time. Police have told us one person's in custody, but they are looking for 2 more.
I would imagine that they, and I don't know if you can see this from your vantage point, that they're probably creating some level of a perimeter of surveillance so that they can, while they do this search, I can imagine, just because but it is so tight, and that is what really concerns me about the safety for the people in this neighborhood. Again, we're talking about 69th and Kedvale. Specifically, Mike, you mentioned the police were searching at 7024 Kedvale, which we don't know why that might be. Maybe that's where they caught one of the people. But this is a very, very dangerous situation, even now that the pursuit is over, because these people are believed to be armed and dangerous. We've already seen them using their vehicle as a weapon, so to speak, as they've tried to avoid the police. So this is not something to be taken lightly. And if anybody lives in that area, I hope and pray that they will take caution, lock your doors, do everything you can to keep yourself safe. This is not the time to be looking out the window or trying to figure out exactly what's happening. Just do your best to stay indoors, lock yourself indoors. And at one time, Mike, we went past, the pursuit rather, went past a school. I don't know if that was a school that had students in it, but you know, anytime anyone is around and out and about in a situation like this, it is going to be dangerous. Now, we can see police right now. We're looking at someone look like they're climbing, potentially a police officer, looks like they're climbing a fence or right near what looks like a garage or an outbuilding. It doesn't look like a house. So perhaps that is that address that you have talked about at 7024 Kedvale. Any idea what we're seeing there, Mike? Or is that just a police officer trying to get through that yard?
Right. So I've been listening to the scanners while you've been talking a lot here, and they're looking, now they're back on Pulaski looking, they're trying to get like on the roof to look. When you said the setting up a perimeter, you were mentioning that. The police actually said the same thing. So they're trying to set up a search perimeter right now here. I imagine the eastern border of that would be Pulaski. Western border might be a couple blocks to Kedvale. Again, this neighborhood, and we saw them come in from the south into the west, goes into that large set of train tracks and industrial area here that runs underneath the bridge. If you've ever, for Southsiders know this, if you've ever driven that bridge north on Pulaski, north on Cicero, when you're going north of 79th Street to 71st Street, underneath that is all a large set of railroad and railroad yards. So that is what's southwest of here. My guess is that the police want to make sure when they set that perimeter up, that's the area they don't want these people that they're chasing to be able to get to, because once you get into a rail yard, it's a whole nother set of problems. You talked about the homes in the area, and again, it's been a while since I've lived down here, but I've grown up somewhere down here. I can tell you there are a lot of elderly residents who have been in homes in this area for a long period of time, especially this time of day, right? Kids are at school, a lot of people are at work, but this area in particular, when you're talking about west of Pulaski here, 69th, 70th, a lot of elderly residents, a lot of people who've lived here for a long period of time, so that could be a dangerous situation for them.
Yeah, no question about it. By the way, we want to mention that we have reached out to the police department to see if there is any instruction for the people who live in that neighborhood. Do they want them to shelter in place? What exactly do they feel is the safest action for their safety? We have not heard back just yet, but as soon as we do, I will let you know. But common sense would tell me that if I hear about this going on, I would want to find a safe place in my home, almost likening to a thunderstorm or something, somewhere where you will not be visible to anyone coming in or out, somewhere you can maybe lock yourself inside so that you won't be accessible, particularly if someone should sort of make their way into your home, because we just don't know how dangerous these folks are. We know they're dangerous. We know that there was an armed robbery where this began. We know that the police consider them armed and dangerous. And we know that they basically have used their vehicle as a weapon as they have made their way through the city streets. So they're not people to be messed with, forgive my colloquialism, but
no,
we don't really want to take it. Yeah, we don't want people to let down their guards at this.
Can you imagine traveling without having to worry about Wi-Fi? Wait, that is 100% possible with Holofly's
point.
Right. So we always say when things are dispatched that is a dispatch, right? That is something from the police dispatch, and that can come from a police officer who's dispatching or information they get from the area. But we've seen this now for 45 minutes in Sky 5, and you talked about using the vehicle as a weapon. And acting how I would describe just desperately, as in wanting to escape at all costs. And when you get to a point, we've covered a lot of these pursuits, and there are some vehicles that just get to the point, like what we saw on 39th Street, right, where it drove on the sidewalk in the wrong direction to evade police officers. At that point, you would think, oh wow, their life might be in danger, and they would give up. And there have been life-threatening moments in this pursuit where the people being pursued have not given up. Right. So I think that kind of speaks to the dangerous element here for people, two of them that are on their feet somewhere hiding in the area between 69th and 70th and Kedvale. And for the people who do live in this area, they would want to use an extreme amount of caution.
Absolutely.
And I think shelter in place is a very good idea.
All right, Mike, we want to look at some of the other video. You're on a live shot of 69th and Kedvale with what's happening right now. We're splitting the screen so people can get a look at what you shot earlier, and you can see for yourselves just how erratic they are. They rode right through a gate into that industrial area, which abuts the neighborhood where they are now. They went past this building. We lost sight of them, or at least I did. You guys may have been able to see from your vantage point.
Now, here's the thing. He crashed into the gate. They lost sight of them because due to that Chicagoland area, International Aviation Airspace, at the other side of it. So they're okay. They kind of got boxed into that area. The Honda Accord, the Honda Civic and Honda Accord crashed into that industrial building. So this was just a moment, just a few minutes ago and just moments ago, he crashed into the gate, he lost control, crashed, and three suspects are bailing out of the vehicle, going on, as he could have turned left. Now he started crashing, he goes straight. This is a dead end street. Wow, I would just tell end of this pursuit in that vehicle. Again, they went through right there, right here, went through a fence, into this, clearly abandoned that car. This is an abandoned area where that construction workers and the factory workers worked at industrial factory next to that Chicagoland area train tracks. In about 2 or 3 minutes, they're going to take that suspect into custody. They've been searching that suspect for about 20 minutes since the police pursuit had just ended this chase. This has went on for the last 20 to 30 minutes or so.
The police helicopter told us 3 people in the vehicle, and that's what we saw.
This is like 69th and Kedvale. Now the police helicopter told us 3 people in that vehicle, and what they saw from Sky 5 and NBC Chicago's news helicopters was the officers again. They're showing pursuits. They're showing the vehicle, and the vehicle's at a high rate of speed. But once this went into the residential area, crossed through the gate, and 71st and Pulaski and went westbound, they would say, at least in this area, they're gonna let this call this square area, 71st and South, 67th and Market in the South, 2 or 3 blocks to like Vale, Pulaski. They have been dirty to Chicago today. Squads. They're pouring in, trying to help out with this dangerous situation for this, but there is a massive police presence here. But it's a real difficult situation. As far as getting somebody into custody, they are told that one person is in custody at this time. But as far as two other people, they're hearing reports on a scanner. Hey, they've got a door open at such an address. They'll investigate that. They are hiding under the porches where there's a little warmer, so people can survive outside a little longer. They were able to do it a week ago, but they're just looking at a mail truck going through deliveries, businesses south of here. They've got residents and all drugs here. This is about a half a mile square area, square area again. All of this kind of is bothered by the tracks. They're gonna get more information. They're gonna give this a pause. So earlier on, I'm gonna leave this like that at 2:40. They're keeping an eye on the live picture. There you can see police presence. They got the dog as well. Here's another look at that pursuit on the right side of the screen. You can see
always a very, very dangerous situation. We saw them crash right there, so this must be the crash that happened at 47th and Lake Park.
South side. They're on the wrong side of the street. Always a very, very situation where they saw them crash right here. This must be the crash that happened at 47th and Lake Park. This is a high-speed chase going underneath the train tracks.
And that is never
He made a
good thing to
U-turn
see.
just
We've also seen them
several
driving on
hours
sidewalks as they
ago,
try
colliding
to
with others.
avoid the
That's
police.
never a good
So
thing to
this is
see.
a very
That they've also
dangerous
seen them
group of
driving,
people.
crossing
Again,
underneath
they
the
began with
expressway.
an
This
armed
happened as a
robbery.
Chicago
This was a pursuit
ambulance
following an
that the
armed robbery.
Chicago
So we
police
know a couple
had
of
been
things.
chasing that
We know they
stolen
really do
Chicago
wanna get
Fire
away.
Department
We
ambulance
know that they
for
are
a little
armed. We
over
know
a
that
while
they were
now.
willing to
There are a
use
couple of
their
things
vehicle
that
as a
happened
weapon
over
as they tried to
over a
evade
month ago.
police.
That
So
they
this is a
know that they are
situation
armed.
that
They
is
know that they
extremely
were
dangerous.
willing to use
And
the
we
vehicle
want to
as a
alert
weapon
everybody and
as
anybody
they
who
try
may
to
be
evade
listening or
police.
watching on
This is
television
a
that lives in
situation
that area.
that is extremely
Do your
dangerous.
best
They want to
just to
alert
stay
everybody and
still.
anybody
And okay, so
is listening
Mike, are
and
you on the
watching
other
this
side
on
of the
television.
building
Do your
where
best
the police-
to just
where they
to
got
stay
out of the
still
building? Is that
and
the
let the
car
police
that was
stay
being
out of
pursued?
stay out of police's business.
Let's
Stay
show
out
you
of
where
police.
this ended now. So
Stay
that's
out
where
of
the
police
vehicle
business.
kind of crashed out.
Let them
Jack, go wide a
handle
little
it. Let
bit.
them do their job because don't interrupt them when they're conducting a business or when they're doing business.
Come
This
out
is how
wider
where it
and
ended.
then,
They're
wide
trying to
enough so we can
investigate
see
and
71st and
search
Pulaski,
for
a
that
little bit to the
second
right.
search
So
for
the-
two more
the-
suspects.
To
Then
the
three
right
of the
there, that's
suspects
where
will be taken
71st
into
dead
police
ends, and
custody.
upper
A
right-hand
little bit to the
corner,
right.
71st and Pulaski.
So this,
Vehicle came from
so to the
71st
right,
all the way from the- pretty
that's
much
where
the
the
Van Ryn.
71st
Probably
Street
didn't
dead
realize
ends.
this was a dead
Upper
end.
right hand corner
Went into
at
this
71st
dead-end
at Pulaski.
street,
All the
came
way,
around
pretty
to the
much.
back
The
of
Dan
this,
Ryan didn't probably
what I'm
didn't
going
realize
to assume is
this
an
was a
abandoned
dead end.
industrial
Went into
area.
the
There is a,
dead end
strip
street,
mall
came
at
around
71st and
to
Pulaski, but
back of
here,
this.
behind this
What they're
building,
going to
maybe it's not
assume this is an
abandoned,
abandoned
but crashed
area.
and bailed
This
there.
is a strip mall.
So Jack, if you can go
Behind
back
this
to where the
building
vehicle
is
crashed.
not
So it's interesting
abandoned,
because when they
but
went
they've
through
crashed
the
almost.
gate,
They've lost
they clearly looked
control,
like they've lost a little bit of
bailed
control.
out. It was
They
out
were
of
going at a
control
very
of
high
that
rate of speed.
car.
They turned
This is a Honda
behind
Accord.
this building where they
Should
are,
have
where
said
you
it
see this
during
right
the
now. So
beginning
clearly
of the
they did
video.
lose control
That
and
suspect
crashed
that
into
was
the
going
building.
at a very high rate of
It
speed.
wasn't
They
like
see
they
this
stopped
right
and
now.
got- and
They
jumped
did
out.
not
It
lose
looks like they
control,
crashed and had to
but
jump out.
not only
And
out of
then-
control,
then they would have
crashed
had
into
to
the
go
building.
over some
They
fences,
stopped, got out,
correct?
they
If we
crashed,
could- if we
they
could
had to
widen out a
jump
little
out,
bit and
then they would
show
have go,
sort of the
they would
path
have
that
had
they
to go
took
over some fences.
once they got out
If
of the
they
vehicle.
could widen out
That's not
a
a-
little
Right,
bit,
So you go
so
from this
sort
area,
of the
and
path
we're gonna go,
that they took once.
We'll go north
They got
here,
out.
so we
They
go
got out of the
70th
vehicle.
first, that's
So they go
70th,
from this
and then
area.
come on up
They're
a
not
couple
going to
blocks,
go.
Jack, and now let's see
They'll
if we
go
can
north
see
here.
where the
So they
police
go
are searching.
71st and that's
basically,
70th Street.
69
They come on up
to
a couple
70th,
blocks.
and then anywhere
Where the police are
between about
searching
3
basically
blocks west of
69th
Pulaski,
to 70th.
Kedvale is the street
And
that we
then
keep
anywhere
hearing about.
between
There was a
and
little
3 blocks west of
kinda semicircle that comes
west of
off
Pulaski,
of,
the street that
69th Street,
they keep hearing
circles down to 70th Street,
about,
comes back around.
a
That's been a
semicircle
large
that
kind
comes
of
off of
center
69th
where the
Street,
perimeter's
circles
being set
down
up
to
for search.
70th
We
Street.
saw
It
a
has
little
been on the Dan
minutes
Ryan
ago,
Expressway.
Canine getting
This
out
is
now, so
where the
we've got
perimeter
dogs now
is
that
being
are
set up
searching
for
area
the
as well.
search. That they
But
saw
again,
just
you
a
can't
little,
really see it 'cause
just
they're spread out so
several
much.
minutes ago,
There
just
have
a
to
few
be
minutes ago,
20 to 30 police
10%
squads
battery
here.
that they
So
can see. They can't really
they're
see it
all around
because they
these
spread out so much. They have
sidewalks,
to be
in between
20
the
to 30
houses.
police
Again,
squads
I think,
here.
one of their
So
huge
they're all
priorities
around.
is to
They've
keep
been
it
searching
pan
for that
wide for me one more
suspect.
time,
2
Jack.
suspects.
So these railroad
This
tracks
is like
are
a
just
stand-up
southwest of here.
situation. This
And we can see
standoff
And that's a situation you
hostility
don't want. You don't
situation
want these
has
people
been going
getting
on,
to the railroad
has been
tracks.
on and on
A
for about
massive
20 to 30
freight yard
minutes
here
since
that runs
the
basically about
car had
7,200
crashed.
south,
People
goes
getting
all
into the
way
railroad track. Massive
west
freight
and
yard
east. So that's
here
the area
that runs
that they
about
wanna make sure that the
basically
two
about
people that they're after, again,
7,200
will be
south,
told you can go
goes
back
all
to
the
the
way
houses.
west
Thanks,
and
Jack.
east. That's the
One
area.
more, is in custody.
They're gonna make
the
sure
two
that
more that
2
they're
people
looking
are
for.
being in custody.
And
2
again,
people are in
things happen
custody
so
after
quickly
again.
where we saw 2 go in one
One
direction,
more is
one
in
the other.
custody. They're
One
looking
person
for
the
that
police tell us
third
was taken into
suspect.
custody, but
Three
2
are
more
three-
are very much
third
not in
more.
custody. custody.
3
And as we've talked
suspects
about over and over,
will be in
dangerous
custody.
situation in the residence here, anywhere between 69th
Not
and
much,
about
not in
70th
custody.
and
They talked about
71st
over and
west
over.
of Pulaski
Dangerous
for about a 2 to
situation.
3 block stretch.
Here,
Okay, that
anywhere
makes total
between
sense. Let's
69th
recap
and
just a little
about
bit here,
70th,
Mike.
71st
I'm
and
gonna
west of
recap
Pulaski
sort of some of the
for
highlights,
about a
and then
2
you
to
can
3
take us
blocks.
through some final
That
thoughts
makes
here,
total
because,
sense.
we want
They just
to,
recap
definitely
just a
get
little
back to
bit
this,
here,
but I know
some of the
you wanna
highlights,
do
and
some
they
gathering,
can take
and
us
we wanna
to
we'll
some
get
final
back to it
thoughts.
as we get
They
some
want
more
to
updated
definitely
information.
get
But
back
let
to
me
this.
start off
But I
with,
know
you said this
they
happened,
want
I'd
to
say
do
it's
some
been about an
gathering.
hour
Then
or
they
so
want to
now. It
gather, they
started
want to
on the
get
west
back
side
to it,
near
and then
Pullman.
this
We're
is
gonna show you
updated
video
information,
of
which
when
was
the
earlier
police-
on.
when the
Once again,
car went
if
through
they've
that
been
gate and into that industrial industrial area where they ended
Wow,
up
this is
crashing
like a
into that
standoff.
building. Again,
This is out of
began on the west
control,
side near
and not only
Holman.
losing
There
control,
was
that
an armed
crashed
robbery at some point. That is a Honda
into
sedan
that building.
that was being
Car
pursued by
crashing.
police
Like I do
for
that
about
at school
40,
where I tell my
45
friend what
minutes,
to
according
say.
to what Mike has
So anyway,
told us.
this is a Honda
chase
Accord sedan that
drove
was
down
being
through the
pursued.
south side. There was a
Was being
crash at
pursued
47th
by
and Lake
police for
Park.
about
This
35
vehicle
to
went the
40
wrong
minutes.
way on
Moved
Lakeshore
down through the
Drive.
south
Very,
side.
very
There was a
dangerous
crash at a
situation.
47.
Drove on
It
the
is late.
sidewalk
It
at
was
one
there was a
point to
crash
avoid
at
being
47th
pursued.
and Lake
We
Park,
do know
Lakeshore
that
Drive. Very, very
eventually they
dangerous
came to
situation.
a stop
Drove on a
here
sidewalk
in
at
this
one point
area around 71st
to avoid being
and
pursued.
69th and
They do
Kedvale.
know eventually that
Crashed
came to a
into that
stop
building.
here in
3
this area
people were
around
able to get out
71st
and run,
and
and as
69th
Mike has mentioned,
and
run in different
Kedvale.
directions. But where they are right now
And the
is
3
a
people were
heavily
able to get out and
residential
run.
area. Many homes,
Mike has,
the
they
bungalow-style
have
homes in
mentioned
Chicago is so well known
that
for,
right now is a
but
heavily
plenty of
residential
garages
area.
and outbuildings
Many
and
homes,
sheds
bungalow
and all
style
sorts of
homes
different
at
areas
Chicago.
where
So
someone could
well known
hide.
for
Remember,
plenty of garages.
Looking for
Chicago
storage and
PD,
office solutions?
Another one showing up to that scene.
United Rentals has
these are dangerous individuals.
All
This
sorts of
began
different
with an
areas someone
armed
could
robbery
hide.
and
Chicago
continued
police
with a pursuit
following that
at
news
high rates of
helicopter.
speed
The pursuit
with
was over
seemingly
just about
no concern for the
5
safety of
or
others
5
as there were U-turns and crashes
5
and driving
minutes
down the
or
wrong
10
way
minutes,
on
5 or
certain
10 minutes
streets,
ago,
specifically
they
Lakeshore
try to
Drive being a
avoid
very busy
CBD
new
cop cars.
highway in
One
our
suspect
area.
in custody.
And
3
now
suspects
these
will be taken
dangerous
into
folks are
custody soon. They
hiding,
are looking
running,
for
wherever
2
they may be
suspects,
in this general
but
vicinity. As you
second
mentioned, Mike,
suspect in
one person
custody,
is
but
in
I can
custody.
tell.
We
But
haven't heard
one
back
suspect
yet.
in
We did
custody
reach out
for
to the
now.
police department to say,
Elderly
should the folks in
residents
this
have been
area
in the
shelter
houses,
place?
homes.
Common
They
sense
could have
tells me
escaped
as an individual, if
from
I'm
police
hearing
at all
somebody's
costs.
running around
But
and they were being
folks in
pursued
this
by
area
police
shelter in
and they
place.
are potentially armed,
Like it was a
I'm gonna try to
COVID-19
shelter in place
pandemic
and find a safe place in my
5 years
home.
ago.
The police
It's going to
have
mark 6 years
not
in
yet
2020
confirmed that that's what
as
they're asking
since
people
where the
to do at
coronavirus
this point. But
began.
if you are
Oh,
listening
like
to
in 2
this
years later,
and you
2020,
live anywhere
2022,
near this
2020,
area,
2021.
please do your best
And now
to
it was still in
proceed with whatever
2022,
is going on in your
2023,
world with
2024.
caution. There are
3 years
2
later,
people that we
there was a
know
little
at
bit
this
of
point
COVID.
that are
It's
still
over.
running around.
It's over.
We don't know the level to
There are
which
2
they
people
are
that they
armed,
know
but
of
we
at
do
this
know
point
that they were
that they are
armed
still running
and
around.
were
They don't know the
involved in an
level to
armed
which
robbery
they
at some
are
point.
armed
Keep all
with a
of that in
gun
mind.
or a weapon.
Mike
They were
has
armed.
mentioned that there are
They're
at least 30
involved in
squads
an
out
armed
in that
robbery
area
at some point.
that they have
Keep
set
all
up
of that
some
in
sort of
mind.
perimeter. We have
They have
seen
mentioned at
ourselves
least 30
several
squads
police
out in that
officers. We saw
area.
a canine unit as well.
They have set
but
up
still,
some sort of
please
perimeter.
Be careful
This pursuit
if you are
went
in
on
this area
for
at
about
all. Mike, are you
45
still with me?
minutes. They saw a canine unit.
Yes.
But
Anything
still,
else you want to
please
wrap up
be
that I may
careful
have missed in this
if you're
recap that
in
we
that
wanna
area.
let people know
If you're
about?
on that area,
I
don't
think
try to get
that's all
involved.
of it.
Stay
And I
inside.
would say, Jack,
Is my advice.
give me
This is
about
only
10 seconds of
this
close
is
shot
my
and
good
then widen
advice.
it out for me.
This is
I
my
would
good
say that I
advice.
believe that the police have
This
this
is only a skit.
contained to this
They are whiting it
little
out for the news
circle
helicopter reporter
between about
that
69th
they
and
believe that the
70th
police had
around
this
Kedvale.
contained to
So
that
if you
little
widen out here,
circle
you go all
between
the way
about
back to Pulaski.
69th and
There are
70th.
some,
I keep
grocery
saying it over and
stores here.
over
There
again.
are some
They
strip
keep
malls.
doing
But I
circles and
would
circles
say
like broken
perhaps the
records.
reason the police have put
Circles
this
and
out
circles
is because they've
over
got
again.
this
Grocery
maybe down
stores,
to this one
strip
little
malls.
block
I
here
would say perhaps the
where we,
reason for the police to
where
have to
we
put
at
out
here?
put this
69th
out
Street
because
kinda
they've
dead
got
ends
this
to the
maybe
west,
down to this
and
one
then
little
to
block
south, Kedvale,
here
dead ends at
where they have
70th,
where they
right
are
by
at
where that vehicle
69,
crashed. So we're in a
69th
very
Street to
small
70th
area here,
Street.
but even though
The
you would think it's such a small
dead
area
end,
and there's so many officers,
the vehicle had
we talked
crashed
over and over how
in that
close the
very
homes
small
are together
area.
here, how many of the
Even though
garages
there's
are.
so
And
many
now they're in a
officers talk
situation where to keep
over and
people,
over.
safe.
How
This
close
is
together? How
dangerous.
many of the
They are
garages
perceived to be
there?
armed, so everybody's
They're in a
going to
home
move slowly
situation. They're in a
and
situation.
cautiously
You know how
here
much
with
money
every
that
move in numbers.
You know how
make
much
sure
money
one officer
to-
covers the other officer.
how much money, how much
This
costly,
may take some
how much
time,
money
but they
that
wanna make sure
they
do
have
this
that
correctly and
they
not move
have
with
to
too
buy that
much
house.
haste here
It's like
because of the
$10,000.
poor worse situation
If I
than what we've seen already.
buy something for $10,000, I would be rich. Come on, Tasty here. They seen already, no question about it. Amazing work as always for the news helicopters, gathering the video along with the police helicopters. They know the city is always wonderful. Great job to that cameraman, journalism, helicopter guy, and the pilot, helicopter pilot, and the news helicopter reporter, and the Chicagoland Sky Chopper. And great job to that Chicago police helicopters. So thank you, thanks for watching.
robbery.
But we're not gonna wrap up that video. We got a video coming up in an hour. So stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere. It's coming up soon in about an hour. So thank you. But we'll be right back around the area of 69th and 70th in Kedville. That area, lots of homes, lots of garages. You know how much money to buy that garage? Buy a garage, fancy luxury house garage. It's like $200,000. They see running anytime during the situation. Like their experience has shown them the demeanor of first responders. At any time there is any action outside what may be calm or norm, if you will pay attention and see the suspects run, please, they see cars now moving out into a specific region of police officers running. Great job to those news helicopters. So thank you. We'll be back after this. Let's listen.
Say this is a dispatch, but you know, this kind of matches up with what we're seeing here. They said the police had somebody else at gunpoint and they just dispatched that they have a second person detained. So there's a second person in custody based on what we're hearing on the scanner.
Second person in custody.
Okay, second person in custody. The Chicago police helicopter have told us that as well. So according to the police helicopter and the dispatch, there is a second person in custody.
Okay, we see what looks like a police officer there looking over a fence. We can see some other officers. You can see that's an above ground pool there. And we can see some other officers in the backyard of this particular home. That street is what, 70th Street right there, Mike?
That is correct, yes. Okay. It's basically a little area, 69th to 70th, and Kedvale to about a block east of there towards Pulaski. It's a little kind of a semicircle area that they that's their perimeter. That's where they're kind of looking, and we believe, remember a while ago.
There's that person in custody, Mike. There's the person that they're bringing into custody right there.
Right, and we saw two people run one way and one person run a different direction. That one person that they were after ran a different direction. That person was taken into custody. I believe this would be one of the two people that ran in the opposite direction, so they're still looking for one. Okay, they're still looking for one more person, but that is good news because that's one less person to have to think about. I can see that person looks like they have on ski masks or no, it looks like a hoodie. It's a hoodie that person has on. A relatively light jacket. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this. Again, if you live in the area between 69th and 70th in Kedvale,
I want to thank you for watching my video. So please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys for commenting in. Thank you guys for commenting my videos, my YouTube shorts, one of my YouTube shorts videos. I want to thank you guys for subscribing to my YouTube channel with 17 plus subscribers. Make it to 50 subscribers, 55 subscribers.
What's happening here?
We're counting it, and that's our goal. Thank you, guys. We'll be back after this.
In our later newscast. For now, I'm Marion Brooks.
I'm Albert.E.Baldwin, reporting live in our screen reaction
Norton
video green room.
Scans nearby Wi-Fi networks and alerts you to potentially harmful public Wi-Fi connections. Norton Secure VPN is part.
9 over that scene as well, captured two of the
back,
three
everybody.
suspects.
There was a chase that ended
at 70th
a couple hours ago.
Today.
The police pursuit went on for the better part of about half an hour. It's been on Dan Ryan Expressway, throughout the freeways, Lakeshore Drive, and wanted for armed robbery. The standoff
police say the vehicle
continued on.
was reported
Three
stolen
suspects
from another
are in custody that they are
yesterday.
assuming. So we're going to have one more video coming up, so I hope you stay tuned as well.
Right now I got...
We're back now. As soon as the police scanner being heard on hold, the pursuit went on. The suspects, 3 suspects taken into police custody as news helicopters and police helicopters were overhead due to that Midway Airport airspace restriction. The news helicopter was held back. They have to hold back. It was captured on news cameras. Many people are being interviewed. They're looking for one more suspect, so the 3 suspects will be taken into police custody. It ended where the car was abandoned near the industrial building, and also the Chicago police helicopters and Chicagoland area news helicopters overhead as well. officers on foot, one person being interviewed.
Of course, we think it's ice. So I was about to make some gestures. Well, I was in the process of making some gestures, and my neighbor said, "Hey, look down the street," and I see police all over. Chicago police, so I knew it was some kind of criminal activity.
After the 2 suspects were taken into custody, police searched the neighborhood.
And now police vehicles on
telling
scene.
neighbors to stay inside.
Chicago police officers
cops running down the street,
working on details.
The
The second person being interviewed as well.
Like, what's going on? He goes, "Please stay inside." He goes, "A couple men jumped out of cars. They're armed and dangerous."
Now, all 3 suspects were taken into custody. Thankfully, no one was hurt in the crash or those arrests. Police say the car involved.
All right, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out that videos pop up here and pops up here as well. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year, y'all. And have a great weekend. And stay tuned with the police chase video coming up Saturday, tomorrow, Sunday, and on Monday. So see you then. Bye-bye.
Impact drivers to socket sets and the chainsaw to cut down my tree.
We got a crash, all right. 40.
Wrong way on the drive. Wrong way
driver on Lakeshore Drive. On the sidewalk being pursued by police.
Oh, through the gate.
Sky 5 flew over the chase live during our 11 a.m. news, and after ramming through that fence near 71st and Pulaski, the car then crashed into the old Kmart building there. 3 suspects got out and ran into the nearby neighborhood as police officers chased after them. This Ring doorbell video from a neighbor shows one of the suspects running into her backyard as he tried to hide from police on 69th Place near Kedville in the West Lawn neighborhood.
When I did get up and check, because I'm there with my kids, I just saw the guy, with his hands up, and the cop, already trying to, arrest him, telling him not to move.
Yeah, and this neighbor was inside her house and watched this all happen through her window. Her Ring doorbell also captured officers bringing one of the suspects out of the backyard in handcuffs. And even though these suspects crashed into multiple vehicles during the chase today, police say no injuries have been reported. Back to you.